and welcome to Cloud Tech 10 for the 20th of November 2017. I'm Mark and I'm going to tell you all the latest news about Microsoft Azure from the past week in 10 minutes or less. The Azure DevOps Project makes it easy to get an application up and running in Azure with relevant DevOps components in place. DevOps Project will deploy Azure resources, a Git repository, application insights, and a continuous delivery pipeline configured to deploy your application into Azure. To use, search for DevOps Project, then click Create. Then choose the type of project you want to create. You can see that there are options for ASP.NET or ASP.NET Core, Java, static websites, Node.js, PHP, Python, or bring your own code. Let's try the Node.js option. I now get a choice of frameworks, including the option for a simple Node.js application. Let's build an Express application. I can choose if I want to deploy this into a web app on Linux instance inside a Docker container or web app on Windows. Let's go for a containerized application. Now I provide the details for a Visual Studio Team Services account. I can either create a new account or select an existing one that I have access to. I'll give my project a name and then I configure the Azure resources, selecting my subscription, application name, and location. Once I click Done, all of the resources will be created automatically. So I just sit back and wait. Once complete, I'll see this useful view of my new project, showing the CI/CD pipeline, the Azure resources, repository details, and application insights. These links at the top provide me with quick access to my Visual Studio Team Services dashboard. From here, I can get to the code repositories or the build or release pipelines. Clicking this link will let me view my web application, and this link takes me to the App Service part of the portal. From here, I can get to my application metrics in Application Insights. Working with my application is easy. If I go to a command shell and use the git clone command, I can create a local copy of my application's source files. Then, using my code editor, Visual Studio Code in this case, I can access and modify the code as required. Let's update the title field here. Now I can commit my changes to my local repository. I have the Team Services extension for Visual Studio Code installed, so if I click here, I can push my changes back up to Visual Studio Team Services. If I now look at my build pipeline, I'll see that pushing those changes has triggered a new build. Once that's finished, I can switch to the release pipeline and see the new version of my application has been released. So if I now go back to the website and refresh, I can see that the page has been updated with the changes that I made. The Azure Storage SDK for Go is now available in preview. This initial release of the SDK supports blob storage with support for files and queues following soon. The source code is available on GitHub, and you can visit GoDoc to get access to detailed documentation and examples. Bash in the Azure Cloud Shell is now generally available. The Azure Cloud Shell Bash implementation is the easiest way to manage your Azure resources if you prefer to work with a Linux shell. The Cloud Shell is accessed through the Azure portal by clicking this icon. Once started, the shell is automatically logged in to the Azure subscription you're using in the portal, so you don't need to run commands to log in or use the device login page. Each week when I create these videos, I always start by firing up the Azure Cloud Shell. Then I run the AZ group create command and create a resource group that I use to hold all the resources for this week's demos. It takes seconds to run and is much faster than using the portal. The Azure Cloud Shell features persistent storage, which is accessible through the Cloud Drive directory. This is a great place to keep frequently used scripts and tools. The persistent store is kept in a storage account in your Azure subscription, so you can access and update the files kept there using other tools such as the Azure Storage Explorer. The shell comes pre-configured with a range of useful languages and tools, including .NET Core, Node.js, Go, Python, and Java, text editors, source control, database, and container management tools. Aside from the Azure portal, you can access the Azure Cloud Shell through the Azure documentation pages. If you see this Try It link on any Azure docs, click it and a Cloud Shell instance linked to your live Azure subscription will appear and you'll be able to try the commands out in your Azure subscription instantly. And the Cloud Shell is also accessible through the Azure mobile application. Recently, Azure's database offerings were expanded with support for MySQL and PostgreSQL. A limited preview of a new service, Azure Database for MariaDB, has been announced. To get access, you'll need to go to the URL shown here and fill out the form to request access. Azure App Service Diagnostics is now generally available. This tool provides an interactive way to analyze your web applications, look for potential problems, and attempt to fix them. From your app service, go to Diagnose and Solve Problems. You'll see this welcome message with 3 options you can choose from if one of these specific problems are what you need help with, or you'll be offered the option of a health check. Choosing the health check option will generate a report. In this case, the service thinks there are some HTTP server errors being experienced by my application, so it's recommending that I view the full report to learn more. In the full report, I can see some metrics for the past 24 hours, some more details about why my app appears to be unhealthy, as well as suggested resolutions to the problem. In this case, including restarting the application, scaling up the app, or using application insights to look for further information. I can click the links to initiate these actions and then check the effect this has had on my application. Azure Databricks is now available in preview. Databricks is an Apache Spark-based analytics platform. The Azure Databricks platform has been designed in conjunction with the founders of Apache Spark and optimized for Azure. This includes native integration with the Azure SQL Data Warehouse, Azure Storage, Azure CosmosDB, and Power BI. Plus, there's integration with Azure Active Directory to simplify security and identity control. control. To sign up for the preview, go to this website and fill out the details required. You'll then be notified once your Azure subscription has been enabled for Azure Databricks access. This week saw multiple announcements for CosmosDB. First, CosmosDB now supports the Cassandra Database API. You can move your Cassandra database to Azure CosmosDB and take advantage of its globally distributed, massive scale and low latency without changing your application code. The service is in preview, so you'll need to sign up. When creating a new CosmosDB instance, choose the Cassandra option from the API dropdown, and then you'll see this link to sign up for the preview. Click the link and then choose OK. There are also new preview features available for the MongoDB API. It's previously been possible to perform basic create, read, update and delete operations in CosmosDB with the MongoDB API, but now support has been added for aggregation and version 5 of the MongoDB wire protocol. You will need to specifically enable these features, which you can do through the Azure portal. In your CosmosDB instance, go to Preview Features and click the Enable button next to either of MongoDB Aggregation Pipeline or MongoDB 3.4 Wire Protocol version 5 to start using these features. The CosmosDB Graph API service, which supports Apache Tinkerpop's Graph Traversal language Gremlin, will formally move to general availability before the end of 2017. Meanwhile, the CosmosDB Table API is generally available now, providing a native key-value data model. Existing Azure Table Storage users with applications using the .NET, Java, Node.js or Python SDKs can simply change their application connection strings to point to a new CosmosDB table without any code changes required. And the Apache Spark to CosmosDB connector is also now generally available, enabling real-time data analytics and data science, machine learning and exploration, accelerating your ability to solve fast-moving data science problems. Azure's Nvidia GPU-powered NCV2 and ND series virtual machines will become generally available on the 1st of December. On top of that, a preview of the new NCV3 series virtual machines has been announced. These new virtual machines use Nvidia Tesla V100 GPUs. To get access to the preview, go to this website and complete the sign-up form. The preview will initially be available in the East US region. Reserved instances are now generally available. Reserved instances give you access to significant discounts on the price of virtual machines when you commit to sign up for a 1 to 3 year period and pay in advance. Discounts can be as much as 82% over standard virtual machine pricing. Reserved instances are purchased through the Azure portal by searching for reserved VM instances and then filling out this form. Once you've selected the Azure region, virtual machine size, the term and the quantity, you can click the calculate button to get a price for your reserved instance. Reserved instances are simple and flexible. You can exchange reserved instances across any Azure region or virtual machine series as your workload or application needs change. You can also cancel a reserved instance, which will entitle you to an adjusted refund if the resources are no longer required. Azure Virtual Datacenter is a free ebook detailing an approach to making the most of the Azure Cloud Platform's capabilities while respecting your existing security and networking policies. When deploying enterprise workloads to the cloud, it's important to balance governance with developer agility. Azure Virtual Datacenter provides models to achieve this balance with an emphasis on governance. You can go to this website to download the ebook.